What is up, A team? Welcome back. Awesome here. Hope everyone's having an awesome day or night, depending on where, but hope it is awesome. And yes, we're back at it today to talk more about crypto, to obviously talk more about the markets. Yes, the markets have been a little bit up and down today, obviously coming down pretty hot. We were in a nice little fear. The fear index is pretty bad right now. Fear and greed has come down. I think we hit our lowest that we've ever had before at 5. Now we're back to an 8 right now. But the cryptocurrency market continues to bleed off. Unfortunately, we're starting to see some levels that we, didn't think we'd see, but here we are again. Still tracking through it. I think that these are still good opportunities for a lot of people who are new to crypto or maybe entering into crypto. Obviously, there's a lot of fear out there right now, a lot of sell-offs out there right now, but levels that we haven't seen. I mean, well, I'll show you some charts here. Things are coming up here where maybe we're averaging out here. Maybe we're hitting the bottom. Maybe we're starting to find support levels before we start to rally back out. Some people think that we're actually continuing to track into October of this year when we'll start to recover. Usually March seems to be a month where we start to have a recovery. I shared this last time. It was on Tuesday. I shared with you guys sort of in the previous run in 2018, in 2019, where we kind of had this little rally before we actually came out of it. Kind of expecting maybe something like that coming up here, what would be a relief rally, but we'll see what happens here. Before we jump into all, I do want to say what's up to the A team. We got Andrew B in the house here. What's up, my guy? Appreciate you. It was good. It was good jumping onto your stream last night. He was on TikTok, and I jumped over there and we battled it. We battled it out with someone. So I don't know who it was, but they were pretty disappointed that we ended up kicking their ass in that little battle. So that was fun. Just now, what's going on, man? Good to see you, dude. We got that guy. Bitcoin's going much lower. Very well could. I mean, they're showing some numbers out here. We have the fib charts out here. It based on the fib. I mean, it could go a little bit lower compared to last time. We'll show that as well. I think people are saying it can get down to 50. Some people are calling it to get down to 30,000, but that'd be pretty wild. So we'll see what happens here. Dustin, what's up, man? Good, long time no see. We got Jorge in the house here. What's up, my guy? Observer, Skating Harris, what's going on? Pipeline's in the house here. Appreciate you guys all being here. Got Crypto Kyle, what's up, man? Griff, Anthony Hawkins, what's up, buddy? XL Mafia, hell yeah, dude. What's up? Crypto Keeper Joel, what's going on, dude? Inez, the Riddler, RPM, what's going on? LTJ, low 50s for Bitcoin based on the fibs. I'm in no hurry. How you doing? I'm doing good, Midwest. Yeah, good to see you, dude. Doing good, hanging in there. Enjoying it. Disappointed on some fronts, but happy on others. So here we are. But let's jump into it. We got some things to cover today. And obviously, as you guys can see right now, the cryptocurrency market continues to dwindle downward. You can see we're at a $2.26 trillion market cap. The fear and greed index is at an 8. This did hit at a 5 earlier. You see right here, Bitcoin hit an extreme fear, the lowest ever, which was a 5 out of 100 here. Kind of crazy to see that, but that did come down and hit earlier this morning. Now we bounced back to an 8. Bitcoin sitting at 65,005. Ethereum sitting around 1910. You can see right now the XRP is about 136. This came down, trying to hover, came down pretty hot actually. I felt like XRP has made a little bit of a bounce back. You got other ones out here that are doing okay. Our baby H bar continues to dwindle back downward right here. I mean, up still 12% over the last 7 days. Some of these are up pretty good. XRP up almost 9% over the last 7 days, but it has dwindled downward. So the question is where are we going to catch the bottom here? If we've already caught the bottom, are we putting any leverages in? Things like that is what we're going to spend the day on. So you can see right now the stock market's not doing too hot. The Dow's down 639 points. You can see that the S&P 500 is down about 93 points, and the Nasdaq's down 421 points. This continues to slide as people are saying, they're rotating out of the tech stocks and into economic growth plays. Again, this is just one of those days where the markets are down right now. The volatility index is obviously looking the way it's looking at 20. But here we go, dude. I mean, the housing crisis, there's a lot of these things talking about the housing crisis coming up here. We've been in a housing crisis. We've been in it for a long time since rates have been up. So this is nothing new to me. So kind of crazy, but here we go. I do want to share this chart with you guys. You can see right here, Timothy Peterson puts out the bear market seasonality charts here. And you see this blue line right here is 2025. All the other lines are other years. You got 2014, 2018, 2019, 2020. So if you take the average, which is this little, if you take the average between all the bear markets, this is where the dashed line comes in here, and that's the average. And you can see we've actually fallen below the average, but I mean, we are very similar to other levels that where we're at before. And I mean, in all reality, we're in a very typical bear market. The last 3 out of the last 4 Bitcoin bear markets were in recovery by March. You can see right here, March is typically, right in here. We kind of hit our lows in March, and then that's where we started to actually climb back and make our climb back out of this, which would be about Q2 of this year. And I think Q2, I was always saying Q1, Q2 seems to be the year. We'll see what happens here, but the end of Q1, if we looked at the averages here, it seems like we have a fall off, right? Going into March here, right around mid-March, you can see a fall off here. You can see a fall off here. And then we had other previous fall offs over here. So maybe hopefully we hit the fall off before March. But regardless of that, every time since 2014, last bear markets, we've recovered in March. And that doesn't mean that we recover and go back to all-time highs, but what it means is that we've hit a bottom. Like we've hit our bottom potentially, and we're going to start to rally back out of it. And it could extend into, like what people were talking about, we could extend into October. You can see right here, this is another one where there's just zero interest in Bitcoin right now. Zero interest in Bitcoin across the board. We're at actually lows that we haven't seen in quite some time for just the interest in Bitcoin. There's no interest. And we don't have interest in Bitcoin. There's no new money coming into Bitcoin. People are kind of on the outskirts looking in, not putting in any money. That's what we're seeing right now. And I mean, it's kind of going with what we're seeing right now in the charting, is that people are just not interested in this. Also right here, Bitcoin's biggest loss ever. BTC collapse last week led to the largest realized loss in history at 3.2 billion. So it goes back to us. Are we starting to find the bottom here? Are we starting to actually potentially, hit the bottom, and now we're starting to slowly build back out. Again, I was saying October of this year could be the year, be the time where we actually start to come back out of it. If we look at the previous halving years, previous midterms, previous elections, if we go back and look at all that, we can see that October is kind of the month we kind of going to be the time where we start to rally back out of the bottom that we're in. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. Again, here's another level right here. You can see that we've down past these 200-day, these are the moving averages here. We've hit levels that, again, we haven't seen since the bottom of the bear market. We're almost to the bottom here across the board. You can see back over here. This is January 18th. This was around the March of that time in 2018. We were at the bottom. Here's around again March of 2016. We were at the bottom over here, and then again over here in 2022. We've hit these levels, and we're right there again. I mean, when you're starting to look at this, I mean, again, I'm not going to say history repeats itself. I hate saying that now. But if we're looking at this, we've hit some levels that we thought we were going to hit. And right here's another good example of this. This chart has been right every single time for the past 15 years, 2009, 16, 2019, and 2020. We've all hit these 2-week RSI levels. We all came down here and according to the business cycles of where we hit, along with where we're at. And so some people are thinking that, this is where we could start to climb back out. It doesn't mean that we're going to all of a sudden rally up to an all-time high in 2 months. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that we're trying to find the bottom here. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm kind of hoping that we actually do find the bottom here. You can see right here that the U.S. M2 money supply is 18 trillion. This is the time it took the U.S. to print each $1 trillion. So you can see, I mean, look at this. Look at that. 199 years. Look at that. 199 years ago, it took the first trillion. And look at between 6 months, 5 months, and 18 months, we were able to print $3 trillion to the 18th trillion. I mean, that's crazy. Time it took to the United States to print 1 trillion. It just blows my mind, dude. It took 200 years to print the first trillion, and then all the years since that, basically, we've just been able to print trillions just left and right. This is where it's starting to collapse on us. This is where it's starting to get crazy, and the value of the dollar is just going down. I mean, it took 200 years to print the first trillion. And then just in the last 8 years, we were able to just print trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. It just blows my mind that we're able to do that and just devalue the dollar like that. But it kind of sucks to see. It just really sucks to see in all reality. I'm just like, gosh, dude, I wish there were some better things out here, but here we are. And then you can see right here, here's another little level that we have right here. You can see that we've come down to a very sharp angle here, almost hit the same levels that we talked about. I showed this chart on Tuesday, and it was like right around roughly in here. But now we're starting to see levels that we saw last bear market, in the previous bear markets before. So we're already down here. This means that we actually have some time to bleed still. You can see between here and here was a good probably 6 months to bleed between here. This one was actually longer. This was like almost a year between here and here, and same with this. So we've been in some pretty long bear markets, but now we're starting to come back and hit this next one. Hopefully, like I said, by October this next year, we start to rally back out of it. Austin, we were hoping near the bottom. There's no telling where we'll end. Yeah, there's no telling, because you could look at a lot of scenarios here. One scenario is that we come down here and hit this nice little golden pocket at 55,000, which again is a decent number. But if you pull back the previous fibs of the previous bear market or the bull market, you can see that we went down to the lows here. We could pull up another one here, and pull up another fib if we wanted to. Let's do. Let me go like this, and we could pull up another fib here. I haven't done it yet, and you can see. Okay, so if we wanted to do another fib and see how long it goes, we can go down here, and that's the bottom of the previous bear to the height of the previous bull. And you can see right here, I mean, we got all the way down into way down into the past the 0.65. We were roughly we hit a bottom at roughly 30. So yeah, about 41% down from the 0.65. So I mean, even if you say, okay, we hit the 0.65 level, what's 40% down from 0.65? That's a lot, dude. I mean, that puts us in 40% puts us at 33,000. If we were to match the last fib retracement on this, and again, I say this, but this right here, this collapse right here was Luna Classic, FTX. We had massive amount of money flowing out from the FTX fiasco. I don't think that we have that. I don't think that we have that kind of. I never say never, dude. Never say never. But right now, there's nothing out there lingering. There's no like fear of exchange collapses like FTX. I think that we're past that, which again would be great for the Clarity Act to come through because it would help hold these exchanges even more accountable to making sure that they pay back anyone that lost money and things like that, or hold them accountable to some degree. But I think that hopefully, if we don't hit a Luna Classic and an FTX fiasco, I don't think that we go as deep as this, and that's what I'm hoping for. It doesn't mean it can't exist because there was definitely these were different times than we're at right now. You just hope that you don't have a collapse like that. Hopefully this is the collapse that we get. We come down here, we hit this 0.68 into the 0.65, we're right in this golden pocket zone, and we bounce back. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Maybe I'm being a little bit more optimistic. So yeah, stupid advertising. Do I need a red pill? What are we talking about, dude? Austin, we can't take any more of the beating. How you holding on there? I'm actually doing okay. I mean, like I said, I mean, if you've been in crypto for a long time, these numbers don't really, I mean, like, I'm not really sweating the numbers here because I get, like I said, I get where people, if they're new to crypto, maybe they bought this last little cycle here, they're down on their investments. I get that. Been there, done that. But if you've been here, for a while, a lot of us are up pretty good. And so, yeah, it sucks to see wealth gets, slip away. It sucks to see numbers not on there, but I mean, yeah, I'm still doing good. I hope everyone else is doing good. I hope people are holding on strong, and I'm very concerned that you trimmed your beard again. Yeah, you please leave it alone. I haven't trimmed my beard, dude. I haven't shaved it, dude. I swear, guy. I haven't touched it since I went to California. Tony Punch, what's up, man? My wife is still without a car. Had to get a fuel pump, and now we have to drop it off. I got my diagnosis back. My truck, the fuel module went out on it, dude. The fuel pump module went out on it. So thankfully covered under the powertrain warranties, so we're good to go. But it's going to take a week to get my truck back. Kind of disappointed about that, that's for sure. Banks and other exchanges hate us. Retail investors, they do. They're going to come after us big time, dude. Clarity Act would be nice. Oh yeah, pipeline. Clarity Act would be great, dude. It's wild that Russia is selling gold and silver transition back to the dollar. I saw that today, dude. Isn't that crazy that they're going to sell? I mean, there must be a deal being made behind the scenes for them to be selling their gold and silver to go back to the dollar. And I think it's because the dollar is so undervalued that they could get it for a cheaper value. And so that's the game being played now is the dollar. I mean, we're joke. There was I should have saved it. It was pretty funny on X a couple days ago. Someone posted like $100 bill, and they joked and they said in 2000, and it was saying 2010, I bought this $100 bill. And today it's down like 75%. It's like this meme coin rugged me, and it was like $100 bill. And I cracked up over that. I thought it was pretty funny because, like, yeah, if you bought if the US dollar in 2010 compared to the US dollar now is down like 75%. It doesn't hold the same value, right? And it's like, if you bought that $100 back in 2010 would basically be a rug today of any meme coin. It was pretty funny in comparison. I got a little kick out of that one. Also, reach out to Wrangler Star, your neck of the woods. Chipper, what's that? Who's that? Wrangler Star. I don't know what that is. That's what I thought too. Went to the junkyard to get a fuel pump computer module, and that wasn't it. Oh damn, definitely a deal. And China will be left holding the metals, probably. And I don't, and it's going to flip back, right, Tim? And usually what happens is that they'll go and they'll chase the dollar now because the dollar is so undervalued. They're going to put the money in there and it's going to bring up the value of the dollar. And then what's going to happen 15, 20 years from now, we're going to go through the same cycle that we went through again. So waiting for ETH to hit 1.75 again, I'm buying some more. Hell yeah, dude. Memes are all rugs. But it was just funny that they were comparing it to the dollar, like to $100 bill. I should have saved it and showed you guys. It had me cracking up pretty good. Yeah, maybe I get a little. I laugh about the stupidest things though. So things that I think are funny, like Fan doesn't think are funny at all. She's just like, yeah, whatever. That's not funny. But if I share, I'm pretty sure some of you guys would have got a kick out of it if I shared it with you. There was one thing I wanted to share here, and I can't find the chart. I had something pulled up here earlier, and now I can't seem to find the damn chart that I had to share. It's kind of annoying. So yeah, there was one chart I wanted to share with you guys. It was showing the longevity of where this is going to go, and I for some reason I don't know what the hell I did with it. Oh, this could be it right here. So what this is saying here too is this is the year the BTC year to date ROI compared to the other years in the midterms, and this actually lines up perfectly with 375. So this is 375 days, which is roughly about. I mean, if you're talking, from the time we're already in on this, so we're already 50 days, 60 days in. So minus that from where we're at, that's almost 2 months. That lines up perfectly with October. So this right here of where we start to, we obviously trend downward on a return of investment. And again, you go back and look at some of these other charts right here. That means that you can think right here, we hit a bottom and then we can slowly build back out of here. And until October, right? October, we could do something like this where we start to hit a bottom here. And then you go from the bottom, we go up to a top of roughly almost 100%. So through the time period of November of 2022, all the way until about September of 2023, this time frame right here went up 100%. So the goal here is to try to find the bottom, and then hold on tight for the next step ups on the way up. And that's what's going to happen here. Do not listen to anyone out there telling you that crypto's dead. Like if someone's out there trying to convince you that like Bitcoin's dead and like it's over and like stop investing, like this is the new way to print money for institutions. Like this is just the beginning for these institutions to print money. They see the value of how much money they've made through the ups and downs of this. You think they're just going to walk away from a Bitcoin? You think they're going to walk away from crypto? Hell no, dude. This is just another one of the cycles here that allows people to either get in. We talk about this all the time too. Like you have to create new entries for people to get into crypto. If crypto just kept going up and up and up and up and up and it never actually had a place where there was a sell-off and people could actually enter in at decent prices, there would be no new money coming into crypto because people aren't going to just keep buying the tops of if it keeps going up, right? They don't have entry points to get in. And that's why stocks will always go, and those some stocks will have, I mean, multiple halvings. I mean, Apple stock has halved how many times? Tesla's halved how many times? Microsoft, all these stocks out here have halved over and over and over again to allow new entry points because it's like psychological warfare. If Bitcoin sits at 125,000, people are never going to buy Bitcoin because they're just like, that's just too much. But if it goes down to 30,000, people are going to start to put a lot more money into Bitcoin. And again, I don't know if that's a psychological thing. I don't know if that's just how the markets play themselves out, but that's just how it works. That's just how the markets are across the board. If you've been in the stock market, all that, I mean, that's how it all works. And so like, this is expected. It was just we were hoping, at least I was definitely hoping that we were going to go into a more of a cycle top versus just the 126,000. I was hoping we were going to get to like roughly, 130 into the 140s and 150s for the cycle tops of this last, cycle where we're at right now. But really, in all reality, we are definitely bearish. After we went down past, I told you guys, after we went down past 74,000, we definitely hit bearish. Like we're definitely bearish. So, do you think Bitcoin eventually will decouple from the traditional stock market? I don't think so. I just don't think so, dude. I think it's driven off of Bitcoin is obviously driven off of cycle news, just like the stock market is driven off of cycle news. If the economy is doing good, the markets are going to do good. If the economy is doing good, Bitcoin's going to do good. If things are coming in, like I think because you're going to have a lot of you're having a lot of cross. You have BlackRock playing in on the stocks, and you have them playing in on crypto, and I think it's all based off that. I don't think it's ever going to decouple. I think we've always wanted it to decouple, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, quite a few alts popped off last night. Yeah, Uniswap popped off last night for sure. It's going to be in the 70s here. And then 9 inches of snow. Damn, dude. You had 9 inches of snow. That's crazy, dude. I think 115 XRP bottom. I'm sorry, guys, but I believe that was the bottom now. If BTC decides he hates us, then I see us going way lower. They very well could, I haven't looked at XRP. Let's take a look here. XRP's chart's a little bit different, a little bit harder to track. We've definitely been a lot more bearish here since this, but I mean, it's hard to look at XRP because they didn't have a previous run over here to see how far we fell down. But I mean, we could pull a fib and see where it goes. But I mean, we're definitely getting to levels. This is going to come down and usually bounce off. Like I said, the 50 usually will come down. This will start to like flatten out here. Wherever this goes, this will start to come down and maybe flatten out. And the 50 will come down. Everything will come down and kind of touch itself again before we bounce back up. Same with Ethereum. I mean, you can see right here, last bear market, right? The 50 came down. The 100-day came down, and almost touched back into the 200 before we started to rally back out. And so that's kind of what we're seeing right now. And, we haven't actually, 1300, 1375 is kind of where you draw the line with XRP here. Like this is, with Ethereum. Ethereum's still bullish. We haven't even we haven't created a lower low yet based off of this. The lower low would be March 25th at roughly 1300, 1375. Right now, the lower we got right here, and I put my line in a long time ago, was right here around 1800. We came down and hit that level, and now we're hopefully bouncing off of that. But we'll see. We don't want to go lower than the 1385, and we'll have a major bleed off if that happens. We'll probably definitely come back down to the previous lows of the previous bear, which was back over here of $8,000 to $800, which I would hate that. I would hate that. But this would actually be a perfect. I mean, this would be a perfect lineup right here if we stayed right here around the 65 to 55 range, and we worked our way back up. This would actually be very, very nice to consolidate here again and then work our way up to a new high. But we'll see what happens. You don't want to bleed off too much, because if you bleed off too much, then it's going to be really hard to even recover back to the previous all-time high, and that's of 126. So. First week of June, my girl and I are coming up to Kirkland and Friday Harbor for a wedding, then 7 days to Alaska cruise. If you and Fan are available, let's grab some food. Hell yeah, bro. Let's see. You said your first week of June. Yeah, we should be around, dude. Kids are almost out of school, so yeah, we should be around, dude. We should definitely kick it, dude. Go get some nice little seafood over there in Seattle. Are you gonna be? You said Kirkland. Oh, we'll be on so you'll be on the east side. So you'll be on the Bellevue side. And then Friday Harbor. Yeah, we should definitely meet up, dude. I think one, yeah, it definitely decouples. XRP, or definitely doesn't decouple. XRP has black smoke coming off of it. XRP that got way overbought. The charts are the charts are a little, I don't think it got overbought. I think it's going to be interesting to sort of see what happens with XRP here. Obviously, you still hold a significant portion of it. And it went down past its previous high, right? We came way down here past the previous high of the previous bull. So very, very different here. We will get up sooner or later. Yeah, it'll definitely come back sooner or later, dude. We need a DCA before mid-elections. We have all the, midterms are going to be wild. I don't know what's going to happen in the midterms. I don't know if the Republicans are going to keep power or if the Democrats are going to come in. I don't know. It's going to be a wild ride. Sacrifice was made. I already had 2 kids, so I think 2 is enough. True. Yeah, it's but you can see the levels we had here. If you go to the 4 hour, putting where we're going to go right now, you can see that the 4 hours definitely in a weird spot right now. It rallied up nicely here. It didn't really rally a whole lot, right, with this little 4 hour rally right here. And then it came down. We usually tend to have these little tick downs before we start to rally back up again. And you can see that all the charts are the exact same on the 4 hour right now. Bitcoin chart, ETH chart, XRP chart, HBAR chart. Well, the HBAR is a little bit off. HBAR and XLM are a little bit off, but like Solana, some of these big top 10 cryptos, the 4 hour is the exact same right now. It's pretty crazy how you see that. And even when you go back and look at Bitcoin's like day chart right now, still climbing up. It's only sitting here at roughly 63%. 12 hours actually working its way down. Usually this will hover up and it'll do like a little, see, usually it'll come down and then come back up. It's kind of what it's looking like it's going to do again. So it's kind of a mixed, it's like a mixed signal. You can see right now that the MACD, let me get the comment out of the way right here. You can see the MACD right here is coming back up here. It's getting a little bit stronger, especially on the 12 hour the 12-hour and the daily. We're starting to make a little bit of a recovery here. So, playing the 4-hour right now, we tend to come back up and then we'll sort of rally out of it, come back down over the last couple times here. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to say what's going to happen here, but we tend to actually have a nice little bounce back. We'll have like little hiccups and then we'll bounce back. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we're actually going to probably go into a rally. If I had to like guess here, I'm not going to put any money in. The indicators haven't fully given me that yet, but I mean, I'm kind of feeling like that's where we're going to go based off where it's at right here. Just a little rally into the weekend. I wish that we could get rid of you, Warren. Like, how does she keep winning? I know. Pocahontas, is that what they call her? Pocahontas. The Clarity Act better pass before midterms. Democrats are likely to at least take the House. And I don't know what the state of the Senate will be. All I know is that I don't want Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't even think about, I don't even think about like Elizabeth Warren. I don't think about any of them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think about any of those people. I just, I think that we all know what we want. I want the Clarity Act to go through. I think that'd be good for crypto for sure. Austin, did you see the F. Joe mentioned the football players were taxed more than the Super Bowl payments account? I did see that, dude. I saw that with the Sam Darnold. That's just crazy, man. It goes back to like what I said. I mean, I know I shouldn't probably post things about politics, but it's just so hard sometimes not to when you just see the dumbest things in the world, dude. Did you read about the jock tax? Yeah, I did read that. And this is crazy to me. Mark Zuckerberg officially leaves California and relocates to Florida. It just blows my mind that you have these elitists out here who are able to influence policy and they can donate a ton of money to parties, whether it's Democrat or Republican, but on both sides. And they're able to direct policy, they're able to impact it and all this kind of stuff. And then when it actually backfires on them, they're wealthy enough to like get up and move. They're able to escape whatever they decided, that whatever they paid to promote or whatever they paid to create. And it's because what's going to happen here is that we already know that this wealth tax is going to go down. It's going to feed down to the blue collar workers, right? Like someone's going to have to pay the taxes. If all the billionaires and millionaires are leaving the state, who's going to pay the taxes? Like this is what I always get. We're all about paying taxes. Okay, well we know that California is going to continue to do this. Well, if all the millionaires and billionaires and none of them start to leave, like who's going to be paying the taxes? It's going to be the hardworking blue collar people of California that are going to eventually pay these taxes. And because you got to think when they create these bills, when they create these taxes, and when they create these things, they're planning for these, right? They're planning for this money to come in and help build California. So like when this went through, they were like, hey, we're projecting that we're going to get X amount of billions of dollars from this. So we're going to release our budget off of that. And then when they fall short on their budget, where do you think that surplus comes from? And that surplus has to come from someone. It comes from the blue collar workers. It comes from whoever's left over. And it just sucks because a majority of the people living in California, majority of these companies like Mark or these individuals who have a ton of money, donate to the Democratic Party. We know that. I mean, we've seen the numbers out there, and they create these. And it's just like you can't go escape to Florida now. Like Florida should kick him out. Florida should be like, no, you can't come here, dude. You created. You got to go stay in the state that which you created. Like you can't leave because that's what happens. Now he's going to go to Florida and he's going to bring all of his. He's going to bring his opinions and he's going to bring his wealth over there and he's going to try to then make Florida what he tried to make in California, and he's going to bring all that crap over there. And it's like, why would you allow that? It's just, I don't get it. Sometimes I just have it hurts my head a ton. Washington's going down the same road. I know it's just really frustrating. California taxes you for how much rain on your property. Zuckerberg helped steal the 2020 election. We released, we're 40% accurate, guessing is 50-50. Don't blame the billionaires, blame the incompetent. No, I'm not blaming the billionaires. What I'm saying though is, but where I'm blaming the billionaires is that I'm blaming that they influence policy. Like, hey, I'll donate $100 million to you, but here's what I want in return. And then you have people that will take that money and then they vote with that agenda, right? They give you money and then you have to go and push their agenda. And so, like I said, Mark Zuckerberg obviously supported, this party, right? Supported a good old Newsom here, paid a ton of money to the Democratic Party. We saw all that. That means that he's helping push that agenda. And if you're helping push that agenda, when it comes and backfires on you, you can't then back out of that agenda. It's just weird. That's where I guess I'm blaming them. And it goes for both sides, right? It's right now. It's just leaning towards the Democratic Party. That happens with the Republican Party too, but right now we're seeing it here with the Democratic Party with their policies. So make lobbying illegal. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. It's really the lobbying of it all. 2,500 rent for 1,300 square foot home for real. That's crazy, Zeus. Zuck all about that MAGA now. Yeah, he's gone red, dude. Zuckerberg after getting a little dose of UFC and becoming a jiu-jitsu black belt and now being buddy with Dana White, he's flipped over and now he's like, you know what, I'm going to go move to one of the reddest states in America, but he screws over all the Californians. That's what I'm trying to say is that, and it just sucks, dude. And you're seeing that across the board, and that's why I kind of got. Again, I had to even throw shade at freaking good old Sam Bankman-Fried today. Like, it's just so funny to me. These guys have they just like flip flop, dude. It's so funny to me, man. This is when these people, like, they honestly are like some of the worst of the worst. Like Sam Bankman-Fried, just the worst of the worst. Like these are people that are just literally just little sucklers on the side of a fishing, like on the side of I was watching Finding Nemo with the kids, and there's like the little guy that goes over and cleans off all the slime on the side of a fish tank. That's what these guys are. And just slimy people. And it says like here, under Biden, companies were forced offshores. Under Donald Trump, they're welcome back in America. Insane regulations by Dems, required license, refused to give them out. They literally couldn't operate in America. Under President Trump, that changed. The DOJ is no longer indicting entire entities. Like, he funded this. He was one of the biggest donators for a crypto company, and he donated to the Democratic Party. He donated to the Biden administration that ended up backfiring on him and putting these policies in place, which allowed this entire industry to like almost take a collapse under the Biden administration because they were going after indicting every single company out there from the SEC standpoint. So he helped fuel this, and now he can't come back and backpedal. Like, he's backpedaling now because he wants Trump to pardon him. I mean, this is the play now, is to get pardoned by Trump, because he's not going to get pardoned by the Democratic Party, but he's trying to do whatever he can to, like, okay, I'm on your side now. Like, now that I'm in jail and I gave all this money to the people that backfired and started to take us down. But it's just like, Dems increased corporate taxes, you knew all this when you donated to them, dude. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and that's what I said. Like, you no longer. I said, looking for Trump pardon, huh? It's just so funny how you have hundreds of millions of dollars. You gave hundreds of millions of dollars to the Democratic Party to push their agendas of insane regulation. He knew what they were doing. You literally helped fund everything you're now bitching about. You lost credibility to discuss any topic related to crypto, business, or politics. I was like, but I will give him a lot of credit. I will give him a ton of credit for sucking up to the party that's in power. He's done it with the Democrats. He sucked up to the party in power with the Democrats. Now it backfired on him. Now he's trying to suck up to the party in power with the Republicans. And again, this is just like, these are the people that you have to stay far, far away from. These people will flip on you like a dime, dude. You never keep these people in your corner. So that's kind of how I look at it, dude. Mark Zuckerberg is one, and so is Sam Bankman-Fried, dude. Just like, you'll never want them on your side. Sorry for the large comment. Oh, I might have missed it, dude. Let me go back. Here's one for you. There's a cannabis farm here in California called Glass House Farms. They donated heavily to Newsom back in his election last year. Immigration busted Glass House. Oh my gosh. They dropped him down hot, huh? We are crypto constituents. We need to reach out to our current and future representatives. I agree. The following month, the Department of Cannabis Control systematically shut down many farms throughout the state to offset the price per pound. Gosh, damn, really? Funny to see people change once DOJ starts investigating fraud. It's pretty wild, right, Michael? That's what I said. It's just kind of crazy. As somebody who tried to jail food, I will say I'm impressed that Sam was not in the Epstein files. I don't think that. I think he wasn't a billionaire by the time when you got to think, because when Epstein got, Epstein, I think he got arrested. What was the date that he got arrested? Wasn't it like in 2018? I think it was 2018 when he got arrested, and that's when he. I think it was 2018, right? 2019. Jeffrey Epstein was arrested in 2019. That's what it was. And so you got to think, like, I don't think Sam Bankman-Fried was so 2019, that's when FTX was founded, was in 2019. So I don't think that Sam Bankman-Fried was around, but you're right. I mean, if he was, he probably would be there. But Sam Bankman-Fried started FTX in 2019, and that's right when Epstein got arrested, I think. So, oh my God, I know Glass House Farms. Geez, my college president is in the Epstein file. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy to me. Yeah, Epstein thing's crazy. I try to stay away from it. I mean, it's just it doesn't affect me, dude. I just think it's just crazy. I mean, like, if it's just sick. It's just sick. However you look at it, dude. Sick. I got some weird ass stuff on my thing. Yeah, sad to see James Vanderbeek pass away yesterday. I was pretty disappointed. Pretty sad about that. Yeah, pretty disappointed about that. I liked him a lot. He's a good actor. I mean, I think he was just a really kind guy, really, really kind person. If you actually uh, saw what he had put out there, he's a very, very nice guy. So yeah, kind of crazy that passed away here. But let's see. When you bet on sports, where do you go to get information, or do you just pick what you like? I do some. I'll do some. Like, I'll go to ESPN, bro. Like, I mean, dude. I've done so well. I shouldn't say this. It's probably gonna jinx my ass. But I've done so well over the last week on this. I'm up like almost like $2,500 now. Over like a week. Sorry, since the Super Bowl, dude. Since the Super Bowl, so not even a week, dude. It feels like a week since the Super Bowl, dude. So what is that? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 days. I'm up like almost like $2,500 right now. I don't know, dude. I don't know about Trump. I can relate. Epstein has more than 600 million, and every institution saw him as. Yeah, it's probably kind of crazy when you think how much money he had. Like, where did that even, like, that wealth just came out of nowhere too? Did anyone get XRP swag from the community day drops? I did not. I want to see God candles from here. Yeah. So when I go for the sports bet, I usually just go in here and I'll look at, what I do is I try to look at, like, we'll go to the NFL, for instance, or like we'll go to the NBA, and I try to just look at their previous scores. So, like, if there's like a game today, I'll just take a look at scores, and you'll look at where the money fits. Like, if it's like a 50-50, I'm not going to take it. You know what I mean? And one thing I've actually found very, 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 like, where I made a lot of money, I made a lot of money doing like, wait till like halftime, and then like going into the third quarter, you'll have a good gauge of where the game's at, and usually around the third quarter is when things start to shift. And so, I've made some pretty good money where I'll put, like, they'll be down like, I don't know, 10 points, and it'll be like 10 points, and it's like the end of the 5 minutes left in the third quarter, and they'll be down 10, and then it'll be like a almost like a 1 to 10 ratio. I mean, like $100 is 1,000. So that's what I'll do. I'll end up putting like $50, and I'll make like $500 here, or $250 here, $25 here, and that's usually what I've been hitting on. And like, I'll give you a perfect example. Yesterday, Michigan's game, right? Michigan was down to Northwestern yesterday. I don't know if you guys were following it, but Michigan was down to Northwestern going into the second half. They were down by 16 points, dude. And Michigan's ranked 2 in the nation. Northwestern's lost like 12 games this year. And they were down, Michigan's down by 16 going into the second half. And I was like, dude, and to buy, like, to put like $50 on it, it was like a payout of like 1,000, and or something along those lines, like $800. So I put $100 in. I think I ended up winning. I ended up winning like $800 at that time. So yeah, I ended up waiting until they got to about 12 points, and I ended up putting $100 in, and I think I won like $800 off that. And so that's the best way to do it, dude. If you're gonna do that little prediction thing, that strategy works very well in baseball. If you wait till about the 7th inning, yeah, and it works really well in basketball too, dude. The basketball is working the exact same way, dude. Where's the Epstein money in crypto? I have no idea, dude. I'm just stacking my XRP, HBAR, and a few others. Hell yeah, dude. You had the Lakers the night you were crying about the refs. I did. I did. I did have the Lakers. I was pissed about that, dude. That was so bad. And it was crazy about that is that they were doing so well, and they were the underdog. They only had a 15% chance of winning that game, right? So when I bet on them, I was like, dude, it's a 15% chance of beating OKC. Like, my $100 went in. I think it was like, if I put my $100 in, I think I was going to win like 515 is what it was. So it was like a 1 to 5 ratio. And so I did put the bet on them. But it was crazy watching that game unfold with these refs. I couldn't believe it, dude. And if anyone watched that, you could literally step back and go, dude, that's crazy how they were able to do that. But the good part is that even if I missed that one, I put money, you put money on other things like who's going to hit a double double or who's going to do these things. So like I had 2 plays in on double doubles, and they both hit, dude. So yeah, so it's like you kind of hedge your bet, even if they lost. Like I still made money on the double double side, and yeah, it's been fun doing it. Like a lot of that little stuff, it's been fun. I've done that too when the odds flip in the favor of the underdog, and then they still lose. I know. Right? What app to use? I'm just doing it on Coinbase, just Coinbase predictions, man. Austin, I agree. These those in-game bets give you an advantage. Oh, I think for sure because you can start to see the shift of the momentum. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I'm just going into like Coinbase predictions. Let's go. Let's see if I can. I don't even know if I can log in here. Let's see if I can log in. Let's see. Can I sign in? Let's see here. I don't even know if I can sign in. Yeah, I can't even sign in. But yeah, just go to Coinbase predictions on like in the Coinbase app. No different than doing like any other thing. It's just a prediction, and you go down to it's right in the middle. You go to predict, and like right now, I think some of my predictions I have in right now. I think I shared this before with you guys. Like right now, my prediction, like I put $100 on Siwoo on Siwoo Kim to win the on Siwoo Kim to win the Pebble Beach. I put that on there, and it's when I put it on, I put $100 on him, and it's like I win $1,500 if he wins, right? So it's a pretty big bet. But I mean, he's been really close to winning a lot of these. I don't know if you guys have been following golf at all, if you guys even follow golf, but yeah, you can go in on golf. And I actually think that they start today. I think the Pebble Beach actually starts today, don't they? I think the Pebble Beach starts today, doesn't it? Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. So yeah, this already started here. Yeah, so I do that. That's one I put on there. Another one that I put on was I had the United States taking the most medals. I had Michigan winning the national championship game just because the bet ratio was so good. I mean, I put $50 on it and the payout's 1,000. So it's like that's a pretty good return if they hit it, right? I have Victor Wembanyama as the MVP of the league, and I put $100 on that, and that's $1,000 payout, and that's a pretty good bet. I mean, he's obviously up there. So for him to win the MVPs, that's a really big. I have the Arizona champion. I have Arizona also having a chance of winning championships, and I put $50 on that. And that's a $500 payout. I have San Antonio. I have the Spurs winning the winning the NBA Finals, and that's I think I put $50 on that. And that's an $800 payout. I also put money on Luka Doncic winning the MVP of the league, and I think that I put $50 on that one, and that one's at a $700 payout. So again, like these are just for fun, dude. Like today, I have like with Brentford versus Arsenal today. I put $50 on a tie, which I think pays out like $300 if they tie. So yeah, there's some things to you can have some fun doing some of this stuff, dude. They just have more ways to cut their taxes. That's true. Does anyone else think it's a problem that Gallup is not going to track presidential approval anymore? I did not know that. Wonder why they stopped doing that. Rich don't pay taxes. That's true, dude. They never pay taxes. That is very true. BTC dropped to 49K. Did it have like a wick? Well, that you had Vitalik come out here and talk about the like crypto. If we can't get away from this like degenerate gambling of crypto, then like it's gonna be hard to break out, right? Um, Tim Waltz demanding the government pay for what they broke in Minnesota. You're an addict. You an addict? No, I just put in. I mean, like it's not an addict. These are all future plays, right? I mean, it's not it's not daily stuff. Like I'm just putting in futures. So like, I mean, the NBA MVP is not going to be announced till what, May? We won't know the Finals MVP until what, May? Somewhere in that ballpark, right? May, June, July, somewhere in the June. I think we find out what the Finals MVP is going to be. So I mean, those are ways out there. I'm an Arsenal fan, and it's a must-win game for us now. Yeah, and it's it's a, you're playing the odds. Like, yeah, you want, Arsenal probably has a chance of winning, but you're playing the odd, and the odds are in the favor of them tying. Well, they're not in the favor. They're actually in the favor of them losing. But the best place to put your money is in the tie. The tie is what you're pushing for here. So whether that's a 1-1, 0-0, doesn't really matter. And I think they start here in about 15 minutes. And last time they played, I mean, they have a pretty good chance because last time they played each other, the Arsenal did beat them last time they played, but then the previous time they tied 1-1. But Arsenal does have the over on them. But you're not going to go put money on Arsenal because I mean, if you put like $100 on Arsenal, you're going to win like $20. It's not worth it, dude. Degens don't spoil crypto; they eventually all get washed away. Just delays things. Yeah, I would agree. That's good. That's a good point, Kev. David Schwartz was saying BTC is going to die unless it forks to resolve the quantum computing issues. I think the quantum computing issues aren't going to be there for a while, dude. The rich pays 50% of tax revenue. College b-ball is the best. March Madness. Oh yeah, you're talking about the basketball. Yeah, March Madness is crazy. Did you guys enter? Did any of you guys? I might have shared the link that I usually do our March Madness in, and I don't know if I shared that with anyone in the Discord, but yeah, it's pretty fun. Feels like Bitcoin just dropped before the rest of the market. I think our bottom is already in. I mean, we're getting there, dude. I think we're getting very close. I'll put this up here again. I mean, I think we're from the seasonality standpoint, we're getting there. Where the hell did it go? Right here. We're definitely getting there. It's somewhere in here. I beat you, bro. Yeah, you probably did, dude. I went in. Okay, yeah, you went in on that one. Yeah, it's a pretty good. There's a lot of people in there. I mean, I think the person who won like $8,000. If the winner of that March Madness bracket that we're in, it was $20 a bracket, and I think that person ended up winning like eight. I don't know what they won, like $8,000. It's pretty crazy. Austin, please put that link in the Discord. I think I did last year, Tim, but I'll do it again this year. I really wanted to go down to. I really wanted to go down to. I really wanted to go down to Las Vegas for March Madness, but it's just not going to happen this year, unfortunately. March Madness, yeah, March 17th through the 22nd of 2026. Lots of cryptos can act quickly when quantum kicks in. BTC possibly not. Spaghetti codes make it harder. H bar is now hovering at 9 cents. Yeah, it's definitely down there. I was looking at putting in, like I said, it kind of sucks that there was a news that came out here with FTX. So the Perpetuals Pro side here is they're going away from it. So I think this is going to be open for another, I don't know how many days it was, but eventually it's just going to be Perpetuals over here. And I did talk to the team out there, and they are going to make isolated. So it's not going to just be cross over here. Right now, you can only do cross on BTCC. And a lot of us here love isolated. Like I really do like isolated a lot. So it's like really hard to trade. Like I just prefer isolated over having cross. But for me personally, like I think that it doesn't really change anything here. And I think that we're probably going to go into a rally. Let's go to the hot. Actually, let's go to favorites. There's H bar. Yeah, H bar is at 9 cents right now, hovering around. It came down here to the 7 cent mark. XRP here. XRP is starting to make a little bit of a comeback here. I think that we're kind of lining up nicely for a little run here. I know the 4 hour is kind of hesitant right here. 12 hours at the top of the day charts right here. And I think the day chart's going to actually prove to be strong. We usually have this little downturn, and then we'll have a little bump up here. So this day ends in about 5 hours. We'll probably end the day with this little downturn here. It's probably going to fall back down to like 50, 60, somewhere in this ballpark on the RSI. And then hopefully we start to rally back out of that, and we have like a nice little pump up, something like we see right here. That would be really nice. This happened back in December, right? So this is a while ago that we had this little rally right here. But I'm kind of hoping that we do something like that, where we come down off this massive massive tear right here, at a bounce back. Now we're going to come back down again, and then we make a little rally. Maybe come back up to 170, 180, somewhere in that ballpark. Maybe even come back up to 190. Which would be nice. But that's kind of where this is going up for me. And same with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's in the same exact boat right here. I mean, usually there'll be a little hiccups like this. We'll have little hiccups, and then we'll continue to rise up out of it. So, and the little hiccup comes up. So I'm hoping that that's kind of what we do here. And when you look at the 12 hour, the 12 hour is at the top right here, but usually we'll have like little dips. We'll have like, double tops, double top, double top. Hopefully we come down, we hit this 80, and then we'll bounce off of this. So I'm being a little bit. I'm looking more into longs than I am shorts right now. And go look at the ratios, dude. Let's look at the ratios. We haven't looked at them today. Take a look at the ratios here. I mean, shorts are are winning right now. Longs are getting absolutely obliterated. But the 1 hour is coming back around. You can see that just based off looking at the charts right here. You can see that the longs are getting absolutely obliterated. Look at that long 136, 28, 154. The ratios are starting to, this is going to come back around to where eventually the shorts are going to get wrecked here. So, yeah, prepare for that. The ratios are there. Look at that 136 and 14, 136 million longs getting wrecked in the last 4 hours to 14 million shorts. That ratio is going to flip here soon. So, just be prepared for that. Also, if the 4-year cycle is intact, does that mean that the fib levels have moved from 2021 to the? Yeah, I think that they would, Michael. But you're looking at you could still look at the same. The only difference between the 2021 bull and the 2025's all-time highs is that when we had our dip in that market, like let's just go back and look at Bitcoin here. When we look at that market, like this right here was all because of we had literally this is the Russian-Ukraine war. This is FTX and Luna Classic fiasco. Or sorry, this is the war, right? With Ukraine and everything like that was all in here. So you have Ukraine, Russia war, FTX, and Luna Classic all built into this right here. This right here is just built in from, I mean, I don't even know what this is just built in from liquidations on the open market. I mean, like there's no like financial collapse. There's no like exchanges collapsing. There's no, new wars. This is literally just a sell-off happening on the market because that's what the market pullback's happening. So it's not influenced. This massive dip in the sellback or this massive dip right here was because of just a lot of shit going on in crypto. And this has just kind of been that odd one where we've had this fallout and it's continued to fall out because of liquidation events, mostly due to people over leveraging themselves. What's your thoughts on the Clarity Act and what happens if it passes? I don't know if it's going to pass anytime soon. I feel like they're trying to push it through by the middle of this year, but it's tough to say. I think the Clarity Act is going to help keep exchanges from, being able to wash, trade, and do all the bullshit that they're doing, dude. I don't. The stories have much to do with the price in the last 12 years. We're eventless. I think the chart would do the same. I'm just saying. I guess maybe I'm trying to say it's contributed. It contributes to the downfall, but maybe it was inevitably going to happen no matter what, right? I guess we'll never really know. More than a hiccup, a year down, then a plummet. Yeah. Yes, we're oversold on daily and weekly, right? We are. We're way oversold, dude. Here's the weekly for Bitcoin. I mean, we're down at we're bottoming out on the weekly. The daily starting to come back out here, so the weekly's down big time. So the daily starting to work its way back up here. And you could have something like this where you have this little hiccup and it comes back down. So you can. Last time we had this where it came up and hit above the 60. We ended up coming back down, right? We hit here and then came back down. But this is already on a down. You can see this is already on a downturn right here. Created a new bottom, created a new low, right? And then this one's already created a low here. So either we're trying to build out of this bottom right here of 59,000. So this will come down and maybe hit half this. We're already at half the candle right here. This is why another indicator here is that we've already come down and filled up half of this. Like there was a fair value gap right here on the daily, right? This thing came up and then now we come down and filled up half this candle right here. And so we're already on the. I think that we might come rally back up into these levels, based off where the day chart is, and the 4 hour is at has hiccups here, and we tend to do the same thing. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So technically, I mean, in all reality, I should probably come and put money where my mouth is, and just put a long position. Maybe I'll just do that now. Just put money where my mouth is. Let's do. I don't know where my. Let's go. I gotta transfer. Hold on. I gotta transfer money. Let's go wallet. Let's go to confirm that. Okay. All right. Let's put money where my mouth is here. Let's go to a 10x. Let's do 10x. I'm gonna do. Obviously, I can only do it on cross. Let's do it with XRP. I might have to ride this out. I might not be 100% on accurate with this one, but I might have to ride it out here. Let's do that. Oops. All right, we'll open a long. We'll see what happens here. And then I'm going to add a stop loss in there. I'm going to add I'll add probably a 2% stop loss on this. So if it goes down to 133, I'll cash out, lose about $200. So that's probably what I'll do on the stop loss there. So put the stop loss in. So taking a $200 bet on whether this goes up or down. If it hits it, it hits it. So we'll do that with Bitcoin too. We'll do it with Bitcoin as well. Actually, let's do it with Ethereum too. Let's put 1,000. Let's do, oops. Is that right? Did I do that right? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. $50,000. We'll do 50,000. Let's do oh, that's a 50x. I was like, dude, why does that not make sense? Because I hate when it does that. You gotta be careful. I always mess myself up on that too. Gotta make sure you actually have the numbers up here. Let's do I was like, that's why the numbers aren't matching up here. Okay, open along here. Let's confirm that. And we'll put a stop loss. I'll put a 2% stop loss on this one too, which will be about $200 in losses. Put that one on there. And then last but not least, let's do it on, which one should I do it on? Should I do it on Bitcoin or should I do it on like HBAR BTC to give birth to all seasons? Spreadsheet is a mess. Can you tell me how you manage your trades in BTCC for taxes? Killing me. Figuring it out. You could do trackmytrades.com or track my trades right here. This is free. It's free to anyone on the that's using it in my Discord. So you can actually sign in here, and this helps track a lot of your stuff right here. So you can put your trades in here; it'll track it, and then you'll be able to eventually export it into your tax purposes. So that's another reason why to use this as well. So yeah, it is kind of dumb, dude. Crypto YouTube, just run the API key. It's reflective. All right, I'll probably just do it on. I'm probably gonna do it on. Let's do it on HBAR. Let's have some fun with HBAR. Let's have some fun with HBAR here. Let's go to a 10x here. And if it hits, I'll lose some money on it. Let's see. Let's go to. There we go. We'll open a long on that one too. Confirm. And then we'll again put a little bit of a stop loss on that. We'll do a 2% stop loss. $200 confirmed. There we go. Let's have some fun now. Ride it out. What's up, Aaron? Good to see you, buddy. Do. I wouldn't touch Bitcoin. So stupid. We're out here. We're having some fun. If price discovery gets overpriced, sells off, underpriced, bought up, eventually getting less volatile at the times. Yeah, I don't. Let's see. The stories have much to do with it. Oh, I was already reading that. I'm in the house. WB Mega to see do. When will Pure Wallet token launch? I think they said August, right? I think they said August is when they're doing it. Jasmine's doing great with the dips. Okay. My cousin. Oh my gosh, dude. Is he alive? What happened with the Pure Wallet pre-sale? I think it's still going, Aaron. I think it's still going. The pre-sale's still going, dude. I think it's still open for people. I haven't looked at it. Let's take a look. I think it's still going. Last I checked. Yeah, I think you can still buy right here. Yeah, I still got $8,200 in there. Pre-sale entered its final stage, so I think anyone can come in here and buy if they choose to. So I still think it's on the table. So, what happened? Oh, damn, that's pretty crazy, dude. Yeah, it is. I haven't looked at it. Yeah, it's been down. I mean, I've looked at my wall. My wallet's taken a pretty big hit from XCL and Cent. That's for sure. No doubt about that. Yeah, I'm down pretty hard on my XCL and Cent for sure. I'm down about 15K, a little over that, probably 16K on Cent, and now I'm down about roughly 5K on XCL. So, yeah, taking a beating with those, dude. Have y'all been talking about the Pure Wallet thing for a while? Yeah, we've been talking. It's been going for a long time, dude. Well, I'm happy your brother's doing good, dude. That's crazy. Thank you for timing. Yeah, no, appreciate you showing up, Aaron. But Yeah, crypto is going to try to make a little bit of a comeback here. I think here in the next fear and greed. This was originally 5 this morning, so if you're able to get it on the low of this morning, you're sitting pretty good. Stock market's trying to make a little bit of a comeback here. Trump revokes EPA findings on greenhouse gas threat and huge blow to climate change regulation. Trump administration will end immigration enforcement surge in Minnesota. All right. Are you starting to think it's a slow rug? I'm hoping that they do something. I mean, that's kind of what I want out of it, right? I mean, I invested into a project that I was hoping was going to do really, really well. So, yeah, I kind of want them to come out. I'm buying the XCL dip for your wallet. I appreciate that, BMA. But, all right, guys, appreciate each and every one of you coming on and kicking with me today. Cryptocurrency market is a little bit down on the day. You guys saw I put my trades in for the day. We'll see what happens here. Patience is going to be a virtue here. We'll see where this comes out here. Hopefully things turn around. The liquidation chart showing that we should have a little bit of a flip here based off ratios. So we'll see what happens. Never know. This is barring any crazy thing that happens here. No hate Oz, but what happened to Cent being a super trader? Ain't it been shorting or what? I don't know what's happened, dude. I've been trying to stay up with it. I know there's a lot of people out there that have more information than I do, but it hasn't. It's kind of gone flat. I think they're still trying to evolve some stuff, I think is what it comes down to. So, I honestly don't know, dude. I should be better about knowing what's happening. I just know that my bag's down. I called out Fox that appears he abandoned ship. He said the looks can be deceiving. I said, yeah, but the price action isn't. I've sold high and bought low to triple my XCL bag. Damn, dude. There you go, Hogs. Have a great you too, guy. Appreciate you, man. Griff, good to see you, man. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribe. Comment down below. Do whatever. It's good to see you guys. Glad to be back. Like I said, I know I don't stream on Wednesdays, but it's always fun to come back in here and chit chat with you guys. And it's fun to talk about sports. I don't talk about sports enough. It's always fun to get back into the little DGen side of the sports stuff, dude. Happy Thursday, my man. Ride those longs for profitable weekend. That's kind of where I'm going with it, dude. I'm kind of with you on that. So, but yeah, love you guys a ton, man. We're out. Peace out, everyone. Cornish, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, dude.